Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome to...
What?
Yeah, so, this is something that I should have done a long time ago. In fact, I will show you. I actually commented on the video when it first came out, is of course by Aiden DeBest. Oh look, subscribe to him, he's literally about to hit 150. That he could not be closer to 150. Physically could not be closer. Basically, I just said this, but when isn't the only one having flashbacks, he references that in the video. So yeah, just to mention, this video did in fact come out 4 months ago, May 31st. And there's not really a reason that I didn't release this because, well, I mean, there is. I did record part of a reaction, then ended up like having to move on because it was taking too long to actually make, and I was doing other stuff at the time. So it just never got released, and so I thought, you know, now that I actually, you know, have used Loom a lot, I can have my face at the top of the screen right there, and I can actually have a little bit more of a reaction sort of to this. This isn't really much of a review, to be honest. It'll just be a reaction. I still never know what to title these things. I don't know where I blur the lines, but I suppose we'll find out. This has been a long time coming, both in terms of the actual series and in terms of this video itself. So yeah, let's react/review the actual reaction/review to The Mutant Girl, Season 1.
Why is this camera moving so much? I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah, you're not the only one being sick. I get sick every time I watch that too. Not from the motion, just from the cringe alone.
Told you, you don't have an affinity to me. You are neutral.
Yes, and as neutral, I don't care for any element, so nothing hurts me.
I don't think he knows how neutral works, but I love the neutral meme, so -1 oof. Why did she...
Yeah, so again, I've sort of told the story before, but it was actually no, I did tell the story before, but that video got deleted because it was on Emma's old channel, which again, sub to Emma. Basically, the neutral meme came about because when you join the Gacha Life Discord server, for some reason you have to pick an affinity, and I literally did not care one way or the other what the affinity was. So you know, I thought, what best way to have, like, what first line of dialogue can I have in my first Gacha series? And I decided to take a stab at Gacha. I don't know why, but I was setting the bar somewhere.
glowing red. Is she evil? Did your red screen break?
Oh, you're
First of all, that's orange, and no, it didn't break, I'm just stupid.
the shy one, are you?
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
Okay then, I'm Marina Flores. Nice to meet you.
I'm Morena May.
There we go. Now we're not strangers anymore.
Stranger.
Yeah, I could go through all the references that are made in this series in a different video, and I will do that at some point. By the way, if you can't tell, that was Forrest Gump.
Ah! He's a giant. He has a tail.
Great.
Okay, I will say this. One thing I like in that first episode is the reveal of Morwenna having a tail. Like, I've used that for like every Morwenna revelation since then, which granted there's only been one in season 2 episode 1.
Oh, I'll be fine, don't worry about it. If anything threatens me, I'll just whack it with this.
Every like first reveal that Morwenna gets in a new season or a different show or something like that will always start off with that tail if I've written it, because yeah, there are 2 in the works where her tail will get revealed partially through, because, you know, it's like suddenly like, what is this mutant girl you speak of? Oh, that's why, you know. Back before we had a logo, it wasn't easy to tell what the angle was going to be.
Sorry to disturb your homeroom time, but Principal Pearson asked me to bring you a new student.
New student. God.
By the way, if you're wondering why he actually put a sin up there, I think the timer is like off. So basically this sin is for this thing here.
Everyone's looking at her tail. Bad students. Bad students.
Yeah, so that was... Oh, no, he did actually put it back up there. So I don't know, I guess he just, like, he took a sin off, or an oof off for Mrs. Dysart, but then put one back on after Mrs. Dysart spoke. I don't get this sometimes.
Mr. Grayson's eyes changed because he saw more in her. So clearly, she's magical or something.
Yes, and it just wasn't the fact that I forgot what colour his eyes were when I had to remake his character after I did the shocked expression. Definitely not that.
Clearly. Certainly not a mistake at all. Tee-hee?
Oh, that was it. He just, again, is slightly forward. I feel like the oofs compensate each other were very based on what Aiden's saying, but not in real time. I know I said I wasn't going to review this, but yeah, that should be fixed. Like, his editing's gotten better, his timing has improved. And therefore you should subscribe to him. Get him to 150. Do it! Honestly, I would have put a sin on there for that. Like, I get the idea. Moana's trying to sit down, she can't because of her tail, but, I mean, it goes on for a little bit too long. Also, there is music scored to this. Aiden's taken out all the music that he could because, you know, I guess for copyright reasons or whatever he was concerned about. And yes, there are a few episodes of this that have got copyrights claimed. Episode 1's not one of them, actually, but yeah, I can see why. But just in case, if you ever think there's like a silent void in here, that's not in the original episode.
I'm gonna try to sit down, and I love it. Rip montage, you will be missed.
Still one of my biggest regrets, but honestly, if I spent the time developing all of the extras and having to like remake them, episode 1 would have come out like 2 months after it actually did, so it wasn't worth it.
If you didn't know, Smart Shot, I've heard that your little freak show is not complete. Why didn't I get? Oh, please, we both know how this ended the last time.
Yeah, we both your past children, you did too.
Caesar, you don't want to have trouble again.
Yeah, wait till we find out to school. Then the fun can begin.
I like the way you think.
You might not be a lesson to the new girl too. No one messes with Pop and Josephine's gang.
Thank you, Jerry, for those insightful words. Now, come on, we got history next.
I ate pop. Good job.
And that's the only time you will ever see Aiden take a sin off for anything pop related. Like, honestly, behind the scenes, like every time, like, because we like write the music, like the Mutant Girl together now, or well, usually I go ahead and take the lead because it's my show, and then he will probably like add a few ideas or something. Maybe like he'll like doctor my stuff as well. I do the opposite for him as well. Most of the time I spend correcting his grammar, but yeah, so we have like a partnership going on behind the scenes in terms of writing. So he has been pushing me to kill off Pop. And I must say, it's not really that kind of show. Like, if you've watched The Mutant Girl, you'll know it's not really the kind of show where characters would die or they would go through like mortal peril. I mean, obviously, like recently, you've seen, you know, when stuff that's happened in season 2 that might lead you to think that might be the case, but no one's in mortal danger. I'll just say that much.
-1 oof.
-1 oof, but it goes back up again. Again, it's not in real time.
Invisible hair. For all your amazing hair needs. Because we love see-through hair.
I recently tried to recast Mrs. Dysart after Natasha left the show, and I said, oh yeah, well at least go back to, like, episode 2 to see what the best example would be, because in episode 1, Mrs. Dysart Natasha's still trying to, like, find her footing with that voice that she gave her for no reason. But in episode 2, I thought, yeah, Mrs. Dysart comes in full force here, and I forgot that the transparent hair was a thing, and that's the caption I got back. It's like, yes, I know that the episodes are bad, okay? Well, okay, they're not bad, they look bad. I'll say that much.
Oh no, the world's shaking.
Ah, come on. That was just a little bit of fun editing I did to match Natasha's weird inflections. Because again, you know, full Dysart is what I'm calling that now. She went full Dysart finally for that one, and it shows, and I just thought, you know what, I know how to, like, modify the images now. I'm gonna do this. And again, you didn't really see too many camera tricks back in the old days of Gacha, like back in 2019. So, you know, again, I always try and see if I can, like, push the envelope of what's possible in Gacha and what's to be expected, which back then was mostly nothing, but, you know, that's no reason why you shouldn't challenge yourself, and so I did.
It's a good idea to split up
once again, Natasha experimenting. If you're wondering why I used the same actress for 3 different roles, it's because I literally did not know anyone else. Like, Natasha's a talented actress, don't get me wrong, and I feel like she was the MVP of season 1 in particular. Just because, you know, she was the one who actually sound like different. She gave everyone like distinctive voices. Like, you can tell Kylie apart from Mrs. Dysart, apart from Morwenna, apart from Granny Marwick. You know, they have unique stuff to them. So yeah, absolutely. I know, of course, you could take direction as well much more easily than some people could.
Of course it was a good idea, and they picked my side too. What a lucky girl I...
Smart plan.
Yeah, there's no reason Gotcha can't be smart. Again, pushing the envelope, because everyone was dumb back then.
What happened to Geneva's audio?
The same thing that happened to Raina's audio the last episode. You didn't pick up on that there. In fact, it was inconsistent last episode. She came in robotic, went to clear for no reason, then went back to robotic. I don't know what happened over on Maya's end, but something.
I told you, you don't have an affinity to me. You are neutral.
That's not how that works. Look, if you're not going to take this seriously, let's play something else.
Hey, you said you were cool for whatever. Now close your eyes and start counting.
I'm still confused about how you know each other. Do you mind explaining?
Visual storytelling.
What's going on with the house?
Yeah, again, that's another thing that actually I've been learning more to do now than back then, because now I'm on a creative writing course, well, as well as a drama one. That's the one thing that they say a lot, is the idea of show, don't tell, and in particular, like, as writers, when we're doing stage directions, you know, to make sure we can do that, there was like one exercise we did one time that was to write a full like 5-minute script without any dialogue whatsoever, because people would fall back on rely on it too much. Honestly, in Gacha, I feel like people actually didn't rely on it too much sometimes. Like, maybe every now and then, but because dialogue actually took effort to write for most people, because they had to actually, like, put it on the screen, most of it was, like, misspelt, it was something that I could have very easily fallen in the trap with that nobody else had done before. So, you know, I'm glad that I didn't, quite honestly.
It's on fire. Your house is on fire!
Your house is on fire.
I still love that joke.
Josephine and we're May.
Oh no. That means... No!
This is where the real Cinema Sins would have put a no and a sin for that, but you know.
What is this song? It's very bad.
I love how this is actually the first episode that got copyright claimed, and it was that song that got the claim. Even though it's a cover of an already existing song. So, you know why that was there? Because Natasha and Nasib actually recommended it. Like, they said, oh yeah, I need some sort of song here. Like, they're gonna be dancing. And I think it was maybe when we were like reading the script itself. I hadn't like decided what song it was yet, and they just came up with that one on the spot. I think it was Natasha who said, oh yeah, let's give him the Ew song. It's like, what on earth is this? Because obviously, over here in the UK, we don't watch Jimmy Fallon, so I had never heard of it. And there you go. That's a thing. And then Gotcha Apex made a video 1 year later of the same song but the original. Wonder if she got copyright claim for it.
Please, can't you move just a little bit, please?
I feel that way in group projects too. I relate more on it.
Oh, that was definitely creative venting for me. More so when I was like back in secondary school, mainly drama projects where I would just end up having to do all the work, basically. Nowadays, I tend to like go like over the top in group projects and try and like embellish stuff where we don't need to. People actually are, you know, much better in university and in sixth form as well, actually, about, you know, sharing the workload actually and like working together. But yeah, at that age, definitely that was not the case. So you see, sometimes it's good to write young characters. They sometimes act their age if they don't speak their age. Aiden complains about the age of the characters sometimes as well, because he wants to have like more adult themes in there, not necessarily like stuff that wouldn't be suited for kids, but stuff that kids would not go through as well. I can kind of respect that, but at the same time, they are actually growing up. and I want to represent that in a show again, you know, have characters actually visibly grow up on screen, which Gacha was great at, by the way. Well, not great, but it was okay at the time. But yeah, just taking it one step further again.
Yeet.
Play some quality music for you.
Listen, that wasn't quality music. Now season 2.
You're a ooey gooey, yummy, yummy, tasty little snack. I'ma hit it from the back, hit it from the back. Damn,
All these Gacha 2-year-olds ruining Danny Gonzalez for people. I actually got a comment like that one time on the actual Yummy Chill MV I did.
I will answer the questions 3.
And that was Mimi's first appearance. Yeah, this was the one episode that Reina was supposed to like go really theatrical and really become a try-hard because she was trying to get a good grade so desperately that she just like started stealing roles from everyone. So yeah, I was looking for more like it. Oh, woe is me! I shall declare this to the world and blah blah blah. You know, that kind of thing. Although, yeah, this was like during the Shy Mimi era, and she was still quite shy at that point. So I can understand why it turned out this way. Not that she's very happy with it.
She sounds really excited.
We agreed she would do a normal PowerPoint with a bunch of facts, not this high production nonsense.
She would do it, Pop. Are you saying you did none of the work?
No, miss, I did. We were at your house, Pop. How could you not know this was the plan?
You traitor!
Revenge is sweet.
It's too Malik.
Mimi, can you take over for a bit?
Here we go.
Yeah, so I mentioned Mimi, and then she comes in at this point. Like, Aiden scripted out this entire video, so this is not like he was going through, like, randomly, you know, trying to come up with certain points. He had this all figured out. And yes, it was intended for Mimi to actually come in at that point, but my question is, why didn't he introduce her sooner? Why didn't he introduce Mimi in episode 5? He could have had her reacting to her own voice. That would have been hilarious. She hates that episode for that reason. You could have done that, Aiden. What was happening? Oh well.
Animated backgrounds.
It's only right that we give him a little farewell present. What do you guys think of us? Watch.
Foreshadowing. Uh-oh. Oh no! The world is flooding! Ah!
Yeah, that is my favorite episode, I think, visually. But yeah, that wave transition did look really weird.
Really fun to be around.
Uh-huh. Wait a minute. You have a crush, don't you?
Uh-oh, you better hide it better.
see how she leans her phone upon her cheek. Oh, that I were a word upon that screen, that I may touch that cheek.
What is this? How to flirt in the 1600s?
It's a play on the scene from Romeo and Juliet. We like poking fun at classic text. Morana's a nerd.
You're a closeted nerd yourself. I know you're following a script, Mimi, but you know the truth.
Nice line delivery.
Really? I'm sorry, but the first person to get a line delivery commendation from anyone here was Nasib? Really? I mean, again, Natasha was the MVP of this season in particular, and just of the show in general for the longest time. Nasib, I feel like, you know, it took a while to actually, like, for her to bloom into voice acting. Also partly because I started writing the characters more based on the voices once I actually had the voices associated. So I kind of knew how to play to Nasib's strengths when it came to pop. So yeah, maybe it was a combination of that.
She looks like a knockoff Barbie, and she looks like she came out of garbage, and she looks like she wants a dumpster dive. Kylie, you're dumb. You better go after her, young man.
What? Why?
I was young once, you know.
Yeah, when Yamuto Khan was a thing.
Actually, by then I was 56, but that's not the point. Go after her already, you young man. I love Granny Marwick.
Oh my word, Granny Marwick. She was in for one episode and everyone loves her. Like, she was never supposed to return as a character. And everyone's like, oh yeah, hey, Granny Marwick, she's a thing. It's like, yeah, okay. Oh. Why is it that out of all the characters that I have spent up to, at this point, 6 episodes building up, And suddenly this old lady comes in and just spoils it for everyone.
Everything alright?
Oh, then there's this scene. Basically, they just go over, like, the entire, like, exchange here. You know, with the wonky dialogue and all. And the conclusion eventually becomes... I am really glad that that came across. Because, yeah, obviously it's a slow burn to, like, Moana and Maui, because obviously, like, the focus of the series isn't really on the romance as such. It's not like My Street, which becomes, like, eventually, like an ever after story. A story of Aphmau and Aaron together, and everyone else is a part of it. I mean, The Mutant Girl is predominantly about the Mutant Girl and the struggles about that. You might not be able to see the struggles sometimes, but, you know, there's always someone there to remind Moana of, you know, the outsider presence that she has, and, like, her just, you know... I guess it's kind of like a 90s cliche in a way of, like, adapting to a new environment. She's not entirely new, but... they knew because she has lived in the neighborhood in that place for a long time. She just transferred schools, but... yeah, that is something that I couldn't quite shift away. But then again... I did actually want to have a romance in there because that is a part of growing up and a part of new environments and such. So yeah, why not have that come across here? And I'm glad that people actually really ship these two because, you know what, so do I.
We'll put a stone behind you once you're 6 feet under. See you after class, little spy.
Oh no, Pete's dead.
Okay, they gave that, I guess, 2 sins, I'm not sure why, or 2 oofs. Yeah, but everyone says that they like that cliffhanger, and because they've told me that. So, but the thing is that they also complain about the split between episode 8 and the fact that I upload episode 8 part 1 on the day it was supposed to come out, and then part 2 I took longer to actually do, and part 2 came out on Halloween last year, actually. Which means that every episode up to that point is over a year old. Wow. There you go. Oh yeah, also this track here, this, like, the Hyperborean Menace, I started playing that in episode 6 over pretty much all of Pop's scenes. It became like her leitmotif. Or, like, well, not her leitmotif, her motif. And, yeah, that's something where I started, like, playing around with music much more so than just trying to follow Aphmau's advice to people, which is to have background music at most times to keep people engaged. You know, I started thinking more and more about what that actually would mean. Unfortunately, I didn't think about turning down the volume, but that's been pointed out to me a lot, by the way, so, yeah.
But they haven't forgotten about you. Get away from my friend!
Pete! My word!
Aw, I wanted to see fighting.
This don't.
Yeah. Mimi, you know more so than I do that gacha fighting at the time looked horrendous. If this were Gacha Club, by all means I would go all out here, but Gacha Club wasn't a thing yet.
Only good cliffhanger in the entire season.
That's not true. Again, you yourself have mentioned that other cliffhanger, so you know.
Oh, you're back. Perfect. I need a break. You take it from here.
Yeah, she needs a break for the rest of the episode. She never comes back. Spoilers.
A school play? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Also, I love the fact that the one episode that Mimi was away for, and Caroline replaced her as Reina, is the one where Aiden decides to, like, have her leave. So he has a departure nailed down, but just not the arrival. I still would have had her back to episode 5. That would have been great.
Here's most celebrated works. I bet it's Romeo and Juliet.
Let's hope not. Imagine how predictable that would be.
As much as I love Aphmau, I have to dig at her sometimes.
Well, nope. It's actually a Midsummer's Night Dream. Oh no, Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, that flashbacks con was about this bit.
You hear that sound?
What sound?
That's the sound of a dozen souls urging you to date him now.
Oh no, Pete knows. We have to kill him now, before he tells the world.
Elite, I'm not playing a supporting role to them. I'll be her Mimi, well, whatever.
You do realize that Hermia is in love with Lysander, right? Ew, gross.
Oh, come on, Aiden. Some characters can have straight relationships sometimes. We all know that's the reason that you oofed that.
Time skip.
Alright.
Why does the time skip get a sin? Just we want another montage there. Again, same problems before, really. It's just still like in Gacha Life. I didn't know about exporting characters and such, so I just never like redesigned them. I just kept them as they were, and only moved between the two different computers. Also, actually, this one I had the characters on this computer sometimes for like episode 7.
When someone says that, they're never fine.
I can't hide anything from you anymore, can I?
Not anymore. I guess I should live by that too.
What do you mean?
There's something I haven't quite told you yet.
Go.
Okay, yeah, they go through the entire scene, and yeah, as much as I love that scene, despite again some of its problems like the music being too loud and whatever, you know, I still have to move it along.
Yes, oh my god, yeah, oh, yes, my ship.
As you see, Aiden shares mine and Mimi's opinion of Moana Malik being a great OTP.
Yummy.
Okay, so he sins these two characters for, you know, and says yummy, as if, like, they appeared in the Yummy music video. But then when he played the song beforehand from Season 2, he took a sin off, I'm pretty sure. Or at least said that it was a good thing, so I wonder why that got a sin here. Or he just needs something from each episode, I'm not sure. Because there's a lot of stuff in each episode, don't get me wrong. He's not like, grasping at straws for stuff. There's plenty there that's wrong in everything. If I ever do a version of this on my own, then I will definitely be way harsher than he is right now.
That was my actions sway. For now, I speak the words I want to say. For the soul leadership has been my blind. Hideous freaks from creature of the night. And yet she had me think I'm in the wrong. Yeah, I see that smile, sweet as song.
Okay, come on, everyone. What other gacha show have you seen has improvised dialogue in I'm a Pentameter? Come on, name one. I dare you. I'm so glad the Hyboria Menace is public domain, otherwise Aiden would have hated this video. Okay, so this is where she kind of like goes off the rails and starts, you know, attacking people, and apparently that's something that a guy in the year above me did on, I think it was like his last week of school. He just like freaked out, and like started telling the teachers what he thought of them, and yeah, I believe he was invited back at the end of the year, but never actually finished that last week. I'm not sure if I can't confirm or deny that, but I seem to remember him being strangely absent from our form room for some time, or I guess not so strangely. Anyway, let's move this on.
And nothing that you will ever do will change that.
Pop should definitely die.
Yeah, see, like I said before, he's been on that on that train since May the 31st, actually, surprisingly.
Great. Then you can shut up and listen. You think you're worse off because of me? All I did was arrive, hoping to have a clean...
Okay, yeah, so then Moana like counteracts with her own speech, and credit to both of those two. Like, they're the youngest actors in the whole of the show, but they have such central roles that I had to give them monologues at the end, because that's the only way that it could have ended in that scenario. In terms of the play, they could only have ended up like exposing what they actually thought, like at the very end. And this is where you see everything that Moana's gone through, whether it was on screen or off screen, and most of it is actually indeed as a result of Pop. I mean, when I first introduced Pop as like the as the bully character, that was like at the request of Nasib, because she is actually her OC from a while back. In fact, he is actually the earliest picture of Pop in Gacha Life. That was actually used to be on Nasib's channel. And basically, I was wondering at first if she was actually gonna like really be like a good addition, because like both her and Empress had such little development on Nasib's channel that I thought, well, I mean, Empress more so, but Pop barely made any appearances. So I kind of just had nothing to base her on, so I just kind of made her like this psychological manipulator, someone who could actually like do smart planning, like applies her brain in all the wrong places. Like, you know, if she dedicated this stuff, the stuff that she has for good, then, you know, she'd be way better off. And I think that's kind of what makes her such a hated, I guess, antagonist. So she's definitely one to keep around. Like, yes, she interferes with the ship. Yes, she, you know, puts people through struggles, especially the main characters, but, you know, you have to put the main characters through conflict. So, yeah, I like her being there. Again, I don't have plans for anyone to die, but if there is ever a plan, I don't think it's going to be Pop. And if so, you'll probably miss her more than you think you will. Just saying.
Wait, that's the reason I moved schools, because of people like you, as Fox One, pushing others away. If you can't let us get I could ever wish for, to you, I'll always be a mutant girl, but to anyone with a look of sense, I'm more water man. Yeah, again, two youngest actors in the whole of the all of the cast, and I threw like these really hard speeches at them, and you know, it took some convincing, but they went for it. So yeah, thanks you to both of you, actually.
Marwana, that was incredible. You are amazing. I hope you know that. And not now.
What's that about?
Nothing. I just have something to ask you later. It's kind of important. It can wait. I mean,
Marwick, will you be my boyfriend?
but wait. I mean, yes.
Yeah. Honestly, now I just remember that's like a sort of reference to Agents of Secret Stuff, where, you know, like Ryan Higa's character is like at the very end trying to ask this girl out to the dance, and then she just does it for him. I mean, why not? You know, you can just reverse it like that. I mean, Morwenna by that point was like on an all-time high of confidence, so she might as well just, you know, take the plunge and see what happens. And it paid off.
Better not be. Marwick, it's only been since the weekend. Don't tell me you've got the yellow stage already.
He's got no reason to be.
Ew!
Hey, whoa, get her.
Seems like someone else is jealous. May I walk you to class, my lady?
Boy being honest. See you guys later.
So he ends up with 2 at the end. Look, the thing is that, you know, look at that down there. It says sentence neutral. How cool would it have been if he, like, removed, like, the rest of the ooze from it and just had, like, a 0 or something? I mean, it's almost better than 2, but then again, 0 is, like, a neutral number. It's not a positive one or a negative one. So, I don't know. That's just how I would end it if you're going to have the sentence be neutral. I love, yeah, again, it's, like, still, like, timed there, but it doesn't appear what it's supposed to be. You have the whole, like, CinemaSins format, but it's just not... Again, like, the only thing wrong with this episode, oddly enough, is that it's not timed correctly. And also probably could have done with some sort of background image here. Again, his editing's much better, and you should, in fact, subscribe to him, and make sure to actually like the video, this video here, and also the one that you're watching right now. He has a lot of other Mutant Girl content. He's almost got as much Mutant Girl content as me, which is honestly concerning, because because he only discovered the series when I showed it to him, like, in December, so yeah, that's something. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, again, subscribe to him, and please leave a like or dislike while you are here, because your opinion matters, and why not? Subscribe to me as well, who knows, I will do that 500/750 subscriber special at some point, definitely. I'll totally do that, of course. But yeah, on that note, if you want to watch Mutant Girl as well, I'll leave a link to the playlist, and that's everything, I believe. So until next time, farewell. Also, if you want me to do a version of this, because I really want to, then, you know, make sure to actually, like, again, leave more likes. The more likes that I see, the more likely I'm going to do that sooner rather than later. Because I definitely have the urge to sin this series. It's just a matter of when, not if. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, farewell.